I am the person responsible for the bombing in the park and Hudson Towers.
You got a family?
Won't be the first psycho with kids.
Just want to weigh our options before we orphan his baby. It's about to get a whole lot hotter.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 action thriller Hot Seat, a film that is directed by James Cullen Brazak, and it stars Kevin Dillon, Mel Gibson and Shannon Doherty. Now the film focuses on Kevin Dillon's character, Orlando Fryer, who is a family man. He's got a wife, teenage daughter, and on the birthday of his daughter, he has to go into work. He kind of works for this tech company, like tech support. And he used to have a bit of a shady past. He used to be a hacker, but he's turned over a new leaf several years ago, and he's trying to, live a normal life. This one fateful day at work, however, he is contacted by someone that explains to him that there is a bomb under his chair. If he gets up, the bomb will explode. So therefore, this mysterious voice tells him he wants him to hack into like these bankers' details that are a few floors above and rob them for this guy. He doesn't really have a choice in this, and then this mysterious voice begins to then set him up as like this bomber around the city. So the police all make their way to this building thinking that Kevin Dillon is the actual bomber, all hell-bent on taking him out. The only one who doesn't believe it's him is the Mel Gibson character, who is an aging bomb squad member who seems to think there's a little bit more here than meets the eye. Right, what are my thoughts on Hot Seat? Well, on the surface of it, this film, it looks like it's a fairly disposable action thriller with not a great deal to offer. I mean, some of the reviews I've seen of this seem a little bit unfair, unkind. And maybe that's because I watch quite a lot of low-budget films and review a lot of low-budget type films. So for me, this is a little bit of a cut above some of those that I have watched, certainly on this channel anyway. It's a decently made, watchable film. That doesn't mean that this film is going to change your world, that you're going to finish watching this film and be absolutely overjoyed and think it's the best thing you've seen in 5 years. Absolutely not, it isn't. This film has some major limitations, the biggest of which is there's no originality here and no surprises. Pretty much how you figure this film is going to map itself out is exactly what happens here. The big mystery as to who the mysterious voice is that's setting up the Kevin Dillon character, it'll take you all of 15 seconds to figure out who that is. It's not a real surprise there, and it's not edge of the seat stuff. It's not particularly interesting. Some of the scenes watching Kevin Dillon bashing away on a keyboard, like hacking into stuff, and then we get these, convenient screenshots saying, "Oh, he's hacked into this, he's hacked into that," all that kind of stuff. It's all, what you've seen it all before. It's all like movie magic type hacking. You know what I mean? 15 seconds and he's broke into a bank. It doesn't work like that in reality. I don't care how good a hacker you were or you was. That's just not how these sort of things work in reality. But it works in the movie sense. Also, the cop side of things is very predictable. You've got Shannon Doherty playing like the chief, barking orders at everybody, saying, getting snipers in position ready to take out the Kevin Dillon character. And the only voice of reason, it seems, is the Mel Gibson character saying, "Hang on a minute, guys, let's just not kill him immediately, eh? Let's think about this. Let's try and do a little bit of police work here and see if there's other options on the table before we blow somebody's head off." So it's one of those films that portrays the majority of the police like imbeciles, trigger-happy imbeciles, with Mel Gibson really and his partner, I suppose, being like the only voices of reason. So the Mel Gibson character, while he's not like the main focus of this film, he's got a fairly large part here playing this police officer. In actual fact, he looks exactly the same as he did in the film a couple of years ago called Dragged Across Concrete. He's grown the tash back, which I'm sure he had in that film. So he looks very, very similar as well. And there was also similarities in this film, I think, to a couple of films. It reminded me of Lethal Weapon, not the story or anything like that, the fact that he was sat on this bomb And it reminded me of when Danny Glover was sat on that toilet with the bomb underneath it, and Mel Gibson had to, try and get him out of that situation. Very similar concept here in regards to him sat on the seat and Mel Gibson trying to get him out of that situation. It made me think of Lethal Weapon. Certainly Lethal Weapon 2 it was anyway. But also it reminded me a little bit of Speed, minus the bus and minus the speed. But you've got this mysterious voice planting bombs everywhere, and kind of pulling people's strings. And you've got Mel Gibson with his youthful, enthusiastic partner sort of thing. And as soon as they split up, you kind of know what's coming. You know what I mean? So there's elements, I think, where it steals from other stuff, but it tries to stand on its own 2 feet in regards to telling its own story. So like I say, there's nothing groundbreaking here. You're not going to be really into this film and really wondering what's going to happen, because it never really gets to that point. You kind of you know what's going to happen in this film. You know what's going on and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't really feel like it's taking any risks. So therefore, as an audience member, you're a bit like, okay, this is formulaic stuff, but it holds your attention, I suppose, is the best compliment I can give it. Now, Kevin Dillon, I'll be perfectly honest, I've never really been a fan of Kevin Dillon. He's done a few things over the years, he's done Poseidon, The Blob. He's been in a lot of stuff over the years. But for me, he's never been a character or an actor that has stood out to me. He's never, ooh, that was a great performance by Kevin Dillon. But he's all right in this film. He does what he's supposed to do. He's sat on his arse at most of the film, typing on a keyboard. But you do get the sense that he's a family man and he wants to, stay alive for his family and all this kind of stuff. So, look, this film is not great. It's not fantastic, but it's certainly not horrifically bad. I've seen horrifically bad, trust me, and this ain't it. So if you get a chance to watch this, if it comes on Netflix or Amazon, something like that, and you've got a spare hour and a half, give it a go. You might be pleasantly surprised. There's nothing surprising about it, but it's well made. There's decent performances by everybody. Nobody stands out as being poor or anything like that. Some of them don't fit the parts, like the Shannon Doherty. Doesn't necessarily fit the part, and I don't necessarily think Mel Gibson put all his energy into this film, but he's not what I would describe as bad either. The film certainly holds your attention, and it's worth a watch, put it that way, if it sounds interesting to you. Anyway, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you found it useful. If you did, like the video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It's always useful to help the channel. And of course, I'll be back with loads more reviews and content very, very soon.